Hi, this is going to be a very short one. I ain't even going to be on here long because I think this is going to be one of those very short chat because it ain't really nothing heavy really in this one. So, as you can see by the thumbnail, I'm talking about the 90-day fiance Ari and Biniyam, who's from Ethiopia. Um, I've been watching 90 Days Fiance for fairly a long time, but I did actually take a break because I don't understand. I don't understand with some of these women who go on 90-day fiance and they don't like the culture of the men, or they have an issue, or it just goes on and on and on. There's a numbers of issues inside of that, inside of the Hold on, let me look at this TV. There is a numbers of issues inside of the 90-day fiance. Um, Not only that, okay, fair enough, it's entertainment. They probably get a large check at the end of it, or they probably get a show, right? Which is fair enough. 90 Day Fiance at the beginning was, I would say, very entertaining, but after a while, it got very boring. What? Why? Because they all do the same shit, right? They choose, right? They go, all right. There's nothing wrong with going out with a man on the internet. Hi, Christine. There is nothing wrong with going out with a man from the internet, okay? Or Facebook or whatever platform you choose to do, yeah? But do you know that on the other side of these sites, there's only one reason sometimes they will go out with either someone from the Americas or whatever, right? Okay, so some might work out. Okay, so I'm not saying that all of the relationships ain't gonna work out, but, and this is a big but, right? They they go on these shows, right? For instance, there's one called Nicole and Azine, right? She went to either she went to Morocco. He didn't make it to America. She went over to him, right? And she sent him pictures of herself, which, okay, sometimes people put on old pictures of themselves. That happens. So she sent pictures of herself. So he assumed she was a slim girl, right? When she got there, right, he saw she was a big girl, a heavyset girl. Yeah. So he said to her, right, you need to lose weight. You need to do exercises and stuff like that. She was in a disagreement with it because she come from American culture where they eat and enjoy, well, not saying all Americans, where they eat and they enjoy food and stuff like that. Anyway, now in Morocco, right, there is a certain way that you walk with women because you can't hold hands in Morocco, right? You have to be covered up. Um, you can't be walking around a certain way because there's been others who's gone to Morocco and failed miserably. Okay, so if you do watch 90 Day Fiance, because there is clips on here on YouTube as well, you'll find yourself literally shouting at the screen because some of the women, either they don't do the research of the countries or the traditions or whatever. You don't just take yourself to a place, right, without doing a research of the country, right? I mean, it's all well and good looking at the men, yes, the foreign, like the men from other countries, yeah, do look good. I am not gonna lie, they do look attractive to the eye. But at the same time, if you're prepared to get into a relationship with someone from another country, you have to do your research. You have to understand the protocol of the country, the laws of the country. Like if you end up in Afghanistan, you don't know as a woman, right? You can't do a lot, okay? So why put yourself through it anyway? Back to Ari Ben Yam, whatever his name is. I keep saying his name. Binny. They call him Binny for short. Right. Now, the story as it goes with Ari, because I haven't been watching it, because, like, to be honest, I just watched the couples that I want to watch. I don't watch all of them. Okay, so Eri must have went to Ethiopia. She met a nice man called Binny, and she liked him. I think they, did the thing, and then she fell pregnant and stuff, and then she was over Ethiopia for a long time, right? So Binny was telling her, "Look, right, I don't want you to be like my other baby, like the other mothers. I keep, right, the baby mother drama. I don't want you to be like the other mother who had my child, and then they went to America, took my other child back to America." So she said to him, "Okay, I'm not going to do that, right?" So anyway, she was there for a long time, right? And while she was there, she got bigger, babies grow, as they do, right? So in Ethiopia, the sisters was telling her, his sisters was telling her about, please don't be like the other lady, whatever, whatever. She was getting all this, like, firsthand. They was telling her firsthand where they stood with the baby thing, yeah. And she kind of like, anyway, further on down the episodes long, right? Right, I can't remember what religion she come from or whatever. So he said to her, "Look, right, you gotta like go underneath the Coptic church, which is in Ethiopia, right? Where they're very strict and they do certain things." At first, she was like a bit resistant. No, da, 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 da. This is after the baby was born. Be resistant, which is normal, right? But like I said, if you do your research and you know the religion of the country, right, you will either wanna what you call it, baptize underneath that country or whatever the case may be, because you're there because of the strictness and whatever. So anyway, she was like, no, 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 blah 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 blah, right? Then, and this right now, I'm gonna go flip flop backwards and forwards because in parts because I can remember certain episodes. Then her mother came over to see the condition of the place and all this. So, it's Ethiopia, in it, right? Some parts of Ethiopia is built up, some parts of Ethiopia is not. Like I said, if you don't do your research, you don't know what the heck's going on, right? So the mum, in her Western mind, American entitled mind, was saying, "Oh no, this is not good for my daughter. He can't provide." Da, 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 da. Right now, Binny was used to do like cabaret dances with his ex-girlfriend, right? Clearly they severed their ties. They're not like in it or nothing, right? They just do stuff, do the dances for the show. Right? Now this girl called Eri, whatever her issue is, right? She was like, "Oh no, I don't want you going out." Da, 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 da. He was earning money while dancing, yeah, because he does like cabaret shows for tourists or whatever he does, yeah. And she still was non in agreement. I feel like I'm going in circles. Please stop me if I'm talking all the way around the world because I know I tend to do that. Okay? So then, later on now, I must have clicked on the thing. I left it for a while. I'll come back later. Now, she invites her ex to the house to stay in the same house as her and Binny and her son, I think it is, she got, I don't even know. And then I think they decide to go dinner. He invites his ex-girlfriend. Now, while they're sitting there having dinner or whatever, right? Um, Eri goes and asks the ex-girlfriend, "Why did you break up with him?" And where so Eri said because he was a cheater, right? No, sorry, the Ethiopian ex said he was a cheater, right? And I think they put the question to her ex-husband because she was married before. Okay. But when you watch the episode, you're just like, really? Like, you stay there that long, you went through all that crazy, and it's only now you're asking questions. Like, it makes no sense. I'm just like, wow. To be honest, this show is just for entertainment. It's one of them surface shows, you just watch it and you just think, wow, really? Now, the next thing, right? Ari gives Biniyam a, what do you call it? You know when they say, "Okay, right, I'm taking the baby back to America," and at first he was like, "No, you can't take the baby to America because, the lady already did that to me already." So she said, I'm gonna take the baby back." So she took the baby back. So they're back in America now. Then afterwards, now she decides to have a sit down with her mum, and she says, "You know what? Right, I want to go Kenya." Now, if you couldn't deal with Ethiopia, right, why would you go to Kenya? Which probably you have the same kind of conditions as Ethiopia, because this is Africa at the end of the day. Okay, there's some built up parts in Africa, and there's some not so built up parts in America, in Africa, and also she had, like, you had to take into account you got a little one with you, so you can't be moving here and there, just picking up your child and moving here and there, here and there, here and there. But yeah, I think that's as far as the story cut. But apparently they're still together. Apparently, but anyway, I don't look at the show that hard, so I'm just more or less going all over the place. But it's just like, why put yourself through all that? Meet a man online. You go to his country. The man tell you, look, A is B, B is A, and then you still say, hmm, I don't know, I'm going back to America, whatever, whatever. Right? You don't bring the man with you. Then you tell the man to meet you in Kenya, who's from Ethiopia. You say, oh, come meet me in Kenya. But you know he's a cheat anyway. So how does that make sense? I'm puzzled, yeah? Puzzled woman here. It makes no sense to me. Like, you know who he is. He's already told you who he is. The ex told you who he is. Why would you want to move from one part a part where you couldn't even deal with, to another African country? Makes no sense. I mean, people have to educate me on this one. I mean, people's gonna have to put stuff in the comment. If you have seen the show, it is an interesting show. Do you know why? Because you see what they have to go through to get the stay in, i.e., the American countries. They have to do. I think it is I think it's a K visa or something. They go for a lot to stay in America. Honestly, they really have to prove that they are a married couple, and um, that they know. Um, I don't think it's like over here, but they have to go through a lot to stay in America. They can't work, obviously. The people's houses that they stay in, which is the ones from, foreign, right? They have to stay with them, which means they can't do no work or nothing. They stay there. They have to get looked after. Some men from other countries find it hard. Dominican Republic men is like all about getting the bag. Um, there's another country that I found on 90 Day Fiance, where you can see that they're all about providing for their families. They're not about sitting waiting for the woman to wait on them, which is really good, um because like you get an idea of what they're like in their countries. You sort of get an idea how they are. There is quite a few crazy ones. There's Paul and another one where Paul's a bit like OCD-ish, like whatever. I think he's working his way through it, but I don't really watch the others. Like I said, I watch certain ones. I used to watch Chantel and the Dominican Republic bloke, which was very entertaining. Chantel spoke fluent Spanish. I think it's Spanish or Portuguese. Spanish. Very fluent. So when they were cussing her in the language, Chantal was able to answer them back. See, this is the beauty of learning a language as well. Because when you go to another country now, you're able to talk to them. You know what they're talking about. So, you know what I mean? So you see what's it like, what they go through, housewives, the ones who last for a very long time, you know, how it works out with them. The other side, the other way is really good as well, because like you get a snapshot into um how their love or whatever relationship have grown. There's another couple, which was Angela and Michael. Angela was in Nigeria, and the Nigerians was telling her, um, you have to be a wife to your man, because in traditional Nigerian houses, the women is the ones who be in their well, so right, they be working as well, and they be looking after their children and their husband. They're very much like traditional family values in Nigeria. So when she went over there now with her Western head, the auntie sat her down and she said, "Look, right, you got to be right. Like, you got to cook for your man." She goes, "Oh no, I'm not cooking for. Oh no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." She spat on his traditions, basically. Like, she tried to turn him away from his traditions, but there she was in Nigeria. There's another episode where you see them where they go to buy the food. Everything's fresh. It's like the West Indies, right? Fresh goats, fresh chicken. You see them all running around. So he said, like, we're gonna have to buy a goat or whatever, whatever, whatever. And also the goat is used for exchange, or I think it is when you go to elders' houses or something, you have to give a goat. For what I know, I have not been to Nigeria, but I can I can certain things you see the traditions really highly favoured in the thing. But yeah, it is an interesting show to watch because you can just see the craziness of it all. Oh, and of recently, there was a couple. Now, I did not know about this country. There's a country in near. Um, it's a country. I forgot the country's name. This guy, he speaks like he's like a cross between Cuba, some next country. Right? I thought he was Jamaican when I first saw him. He's for Pal- Palentia, someplace like that. I've never heard of this country in my born day. I said, "Oh, I never heard of this country." I went quickly Googled that, and I found out that it's a crossover of Cuban and something else. So they speak fluent Spanish over there. But apparently they had a hurricane. I never didn't even hear about it. But the lady that's gone over there, right? She went over to the man, so they went shopping, and she was saying, "Look, right, you need to get a cheaper drill." And he goes, "No, no, 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 no. No, 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 we got to buy this type of drill because, American dollar, all that. No, we got to buy this drill and this drill and this drill." And she says, "No, but then, like, with the cheap drill, right, at least you can charge it, recharge it up and everything, like generator kind of business." "No, no, 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 no," he goes. So he made her spend how much dollars in his country, and he was just happy spending the money. You can just see the happiness in his whole demeanor. I was like, wow. But like I said, these shows are just, I mean, not though it's entertaining, but you can just see the craziness of the whole thing. Like, traveling to another person's country, because they show the male and the female in reverse and stuff. So it's not just women running after the men, it's the other way too. So you get an idea. But like I said, people, you need to do your research on countries. Don't just pick up yourself. You see man put on internet. Don't just go by that neither. Yes, like I said, yes, there is some attractive men on the internet from foreign countries. It's very true. But at the end of the day, right, if they're from Nigeria, Cuba, I can't think of a few places which they always mention. Dominican Republic. You have to get to know the people. You have to know the people from the West first before you can go over to where they are. You can't just throw yourself in at the deep end and then regret it later, because you can possibly get stuck in that other country. You don't know what's going on, especially worse now because of this thing that's going on. So, I think I sound like I'm ranting, but you know what I mean. Anyway, but yeah, I just thought I'll put on a light one after the last big um build the other day, So yeah, but like I said, go take a look at 90 Day Fiance and comment underneath this video and tell me what you think, because I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Right, you get told one whatever, and then you still go against the grain. Your parents come over to the country where you are with that man, and they can see that it's all gonna fall apart, and you're just in there like eyes closed. I'm born in the UK and I spent time in Jamaica. The culture over there is worlds about. Yeah, it is. I believe that. I believe that. But it's the same with these well, these females, they just, I don't know, they think they're still in the West when they go over there. They're not prepared to adapt. They're not prepared to fall in, well, I won't say fall in line. Obviously when you're there, you have to wear certain traditional clothes or whatever. Yeah, it's totally different, exactly. Right? Obviously, right, you got to wear certain traditional clothes when you're there. If you go Ethiopia, particularly because I see loads of Ethiopian stuff where people's gone over to Ethiopia. They end up wearing the clothes when they're there. You know, you have to adapt to the situations as well. You can't stand out like a tourist. You stand out like a tourist, you know what happens. What happens to tourists in them countries? Luckily for these people, they got cameramen around them. But even when a cameraman was around, one of the guys that was in Brazil, right? He got robbed while they were filming. So you really have to know what you're dealing with when you go to these countries, right? Because they see you as the dollar sign, they see you as the money. So you have to know, and you have to fit into their situation. It's not about thinking, oh yeah, right. But like, and we know in the West Indies, right? Not all of the places have indoor toilet. They all have toilet that go outside. Some places in the West Indies, some of the houses are built modernly now, a little bit more modern, okay? But, people just have this fantasy idea of how things are. Like, you can't go by the man that's in front of you, because when you get there, it's going to be a shock to the system, you know? So that's why I thought I'd bring this up, because um, these women, obviously, I don't even know. Desperate, I don't even know. I mean, like you heard about in Kenya, they had the women going over to Kenya to sleep with the Kenyan men as well. Right, these was Kenyan, the tribe Kenya men, the Maasai men. They were literally going over there to sleep with them. There's videos of that, video evidence of that. It's there's the talk. It's like, it's just very thingy. I have to admit, I felt I could live over there in terms of hand washing clothes, cooking, etc. A lower standard of life. I think I could cope. I let go. So, cool. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a whole nother world. I mean, living over here compared to living over there. All right. They may not have the most stuff, which the one in the Ethiopian one, the Ari and Binny, right? Binny didn't have the most luxurious place, right? But he can make it work. He made it work. Then there's Jenny and Samit, where she's an older woman. But in India, they don't approve of older women marrying young guys. It's just the whole total difference. You cannot go over there with Western mind. You know, Damien Marley said you can't go over to Zion with a carnal mind. So if you go over there with your mindset like you think over here, yes, it takes time to adapt to the situation, right? Money is not as free as it is in the West, even though the West is coming like a third world country anyway, which we don't know is happening. But they think that how when they go over there, they're still entitled. You're not still entitled. You have to like live in tin house and tin roof house in some cases. Yeah, you have to change your mindset, when you're going market, you have to jump in maxi taxi to reach town. Okay, all right. In Trinidad, I've lived in Arima. You travel, no, Yeah, Rima. You have to travel some next place in a big maxi taxi, wait for the van thing to come, and then you jump on it and you go to town. You can't just say, okay, let me just walk to the shop. Some of them do walk, but I have to get up bloody early. This is bankrupt. Let's call it a space. Yes, it is. It is bankrupt. We don't know how it is over here. Here's kind of like third world country, but these women obviously don't check out the beans. I mean, even though they travel over there, they go over there like tourists, and then they pick themselves up a man while they're there. That's like the bonus, but you can't go by that because you don't know what he's doing when you're not over in the country. Exactly, or send people in a taxi or squeezer, you know. Unless you live their lives there, where you have to go out and wash dishes on tin roof with how much buckets on top of it, and you have to wash your stuff. You have to um, live in rural areas because, you know, but like I said, because there's towns and stuff over there, but it's expensive. So, like $300 or $600 in most cases, it goes up. So, these women, I don't know what to say really. I'm just thinking to myself, don't you do your research before you go to the flipping country? You can't just like reach on man's country or woman's country or the woman's country and think, yeah, throw your weight with like whatever. You can't do that. Boy, I sound like I sound like I am moaning. But like I said, it's an entertaining show to watch. It is entertaining. By all means, you can have a laugh and a kiki at it because if you want to get away from your own sort of situations. But yeah, they just don't do their research or nothing. And I'm just like, wow, like, you know, even some people when they get with Nigerian blokes over here, I bet you when they're living with the guy, they have to really cook the jollof rice, pound thing when they're ready. Even though most of the Nigerians live very flexible now, because they are very traditional people. You can't just like run into their son and daughter just like that. You have to have some credentials, mate. So people cannot just be like thinking a certain way. And Angela in 90 Day Fiance, she just didn't get it. She really didn't understand the Nigerian traditional way of life. She was not prepared to do it. She wasn't. It's important to observe the local people before making the ultimate decision. Yeah, exactly. I think that's important. We need to pin that one up because that's key right there. Because people just think, okay, I could just go and that's it. That's living a life of fantasy. It doesn't go like that. It really don't. I've lived over in the West Indian countries myself. I grew up halfway there and here, between here and there. The lifestyle is totally different. You just cannot be thinking, yeah, okay, right. They're always by the beaches. They work just as hard as the ones in the West, right? Even though the only difference is the corrupt police that's over in certain countries. you know, you have to know what you're dealing with. Corruption is big in certain countries. Um, what's the next thing I'm gonna say now? Right, you have to know the language a little bit. Like I ain't gonna go over to a country with another in another whole place and not learn the language. You have to know a little bit of the dialect, at least a little bit. You have to try and up on that. So you can talk to them because when they're translating, they're not going to tell you everything what they're saying to you, unless you've got enough money that you can really pay for a proper translator to walk with you. So you have to be very mindful of the whole setup, man. Don't just like sell yourself deep and think, yeah, I'm gonna go over there and change, do some totally different thing. Let me find this picture of this girl here. Yeah, because Just like, bro. Let me find a picture of these two people. Because he really tries with her. Uh, there was two of them where it went wrong, actually. There's two. Let me show you the next situation I went wrong. Hi, Tripsies. Even this lady here. This lady, right? This is another one of the 90-day fiance. She went over, I can't remember, I think it was Morocco. I think it was Morocco she went. At first, she was wearing the hijab and everything because in Morocco, you can't go as a woman uncovered. You have to be covered up, right, completely, right. So she went to the man. Um, I think the man's people met her, this lady here, and they didn't approve of her. And one time she was inside of a bar, right, and this is when she changed herself. She changed. She had her hair out and everything, and she was loud and brash inside of the bar. Now in Morocco, right, the women don't always be around the men. The women have their separate thing. They do their separate things. Sometimes they be at home cooking, like a whole bunch of them. Like traditions, it's very traditional households. They don't be up and walking around and going to bars and whatever. Yeah, they do. Foreigners find the Western way of life difficult to. Yeah, they do. They do exactly on the other end because that means that they have to wait for a woman to wait on them or man. They have to sit there for how many? I think I can't remember to get their K9 visa. I think it's called a K9 visa in America. Over here, I can't remember what's it called over here. It used to have a name over here. I used to remember this stuff, right? So this is Binny and what's her name? Ariel. Let me see. Because I can't show it because they won't let me show it on this here because I know they're gonna be moany. Like she was over there for long, right? Her mum came, right? This is the picture when they went to the place where he was performing in it. So she took her mother with him. He was dancing with his ex-girlfriend, right? Because they were performers and all that. So, he into her, you can't take the baby. See, the baby's lovely. It's a lovely little baby. Oh yeah, this is the other girl who wore the thing earlier that I showed you. But she went over with a Western mind. I can't find the one where he's dancing with his ex. Oh yeah, this is her ex-boyfriend. This is Aries' ex-boyfriend, ex-husband or boyfriend. So, I mean, it's nice to travel to the foreign countries. I'm sure Ethiopia and other countries are very nice countries, but you have to know what you're dealing with at the end of the day. Can you see yourself staying over there? Can you see yourself dealing with the traditional stuff? Right. In Ethiopia, particularly from my research, they celebrate a New Year's. It's a whole thing, a whole big thing over there. They do the whole country so comes out to celebrate. They don't do one little thing. It's not like Christmas where you're sitting indoors and people's bringing you presents. They don't do all that. They're very much community based country. So she she wasn't prepared to become the Coptic, what's it, Christian Coptic, I think the Ethiopians deal with. Right, they're very strict with their Christianity because I've seen it in action. They're very, very devoted to their Christianity, even though they drink and they do little smokes or whatever. Right, with most things, they fast. They don't eat meat certain days. They do them things. These are the things what they do. You can't just go over. and think, yeah, I can just deal with that and that's it. But no, it's a lot more deeper than that. You know, I want to see if I could find the Ethiopian Coptic church because they're so deep. Ethiopian Coptic church is deep. Now, the Ethiopian Coptic church is deep. So, you have to research the Ethiopian Coptic. Oh, wow. Oh, well. I just heard my daughter. It's deep. Even when they marry, it's deep. They don't play with their stuff. They don't play. And, you marry like royalty. In Jamaica, Jah did a marriage similar to this because, Rastas are into their thing. But these people, I don't know what to say. Basically, you just can't go over there with a Western mind. That's all. That's the message here right now. You can't just go over there and think, yeah, I can just do any old thing and and do and get on and just do things according to how I live, and that's it. You don't go like that. It just doesn't go like that. I just don't know what to say to these people. But like I said, I ain't having a go at them, but it's quite entertaining to watch in some cases, and sometimes it's not because you can see the piss take of it all. Right? Yeah, this is Chantel and the Dominican Republic one. This one was good. This was the best one because, like I said, she can talk Spanish. She's very versed on certain things. She just wasn't into his traditions. Where they in Dominican Republic, I didn't even know they cooked chicken foot. Now they cook chicken foot in the West Indies. I didn't know they did it in Dominican Republic. And like I said, in the program, you learn a lot about the cultures. You learn a lot about the cultures. You do learn a lot about them in 90 Day Fiance. you know. So they're very open to show you that there's nothing wrong with learning about next man's culture. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just when you go on all ignorant and you don't try to learn the culture. I mean, sometimes they get catfished. There's this one. This was the classic one. This one. The problem with Brits is they still think they rule the world, so going into a relationship with foreigners from the so-called third world, they still believe they can run the. Yeah, exactly. Brits, and certain Americans as well. You know, even in Spain. Now, let me give you an example. Now, there's programs that comes on here, um, where they've made is at hotels and stuff. Some of them can speak French and some of them can speak Spanish. They'll be in Spain, but they sell things, but they always sell their own food like fish and chips, scampi, and all that. You're in their country. Like you have to, all right. You can't eat all their food. I mean, obviously you adapt in it. They don't adapt. They don't adapt. But yeah, that's true there. I mean, there is some nice couples in there. This one didn't last. Louis and I forgot her name. It didn't last. You know, I think he's married now. Then there's Angela Michael. She did not want to do the traditions. She wasn't in it. So, I could go on. Oh yeah, there's this guy, Ed. He's a whole nother case by himself. He's just a whole nother somebody. Like, just look at the thing, the 90 Day Fiance, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just one of those programs where you just get entertainment and you just think, why would you do that? Like in your head, you're like, why? Really? Why would you do that? Like they just think that they can throw money at people and they get whatever. You can't just think like that. You have to know what you're dealing with. I think these two are still together. I'm not sure. I think he's still with her. He reminds me of Usain Bolt. He just reminds me of Usain Bolt, this guy. He's Jamaican, this one. So I think he's still with her. I'm not even sure. I haven't been watching them for that long. I've not been watching them at all. But you can tell who's going to stick together, who's not. This is Samit. And in India they always marry very like young girls. They don't marry older women. They marry younger girls. So obviously when his family see this big woman, his mother's not happy. Normally they dishonor the the child because of that, you know. So um the mum must have came to the place where Jenny and Submit is, and um she was walking around and she was telling her to clean and everything. She goes to her, "Can you cook? Do you know how to cook?" Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She looks very old for him, don't she? So there's so certain scenarios just don't go on in their countries. Certain scenarios, you'll never see an older woman married to a younger man. It never happens. They don't do them things in certain countries. She gave up all her stuff in all her life in America and went over to live with him. This couple is success. They're still together, so there's success stories in all of it. There's some successful stories. There's some stories you just think, rah, okay. You see the ones who get catfished and everything. So I can hear my daughter walking downstairs. Oh yeah, and there's these lot. Don't forget these lot. Yeah. Oh, and there's another lot too that's still together. These two are still together too, but they're from a traditional Israel background. So in their country, they have like family values is strong in their country. I don't think I've seen one where there's been a single mother from them foreign countries. I've never seen one. So I think they have the sanctity of marriage. Marriage is important in their country. So but yeah, before the baby come and interrupts me, but it's nice to see you, Christine. You know me, I like to have my little ring at certain things because it just makes no sense. You just have to think really, like, you know, you're gonna be with a man from another country. Do your homework first. Don't just go over to the place or talking. What's it? Teton tongue tell or something. I can't remember. No, see me and live with me is two. This one thing. That's how the old saying go, innit? See me and live with me, two different situations. Because I may look good on the outside, but when you live with me now, right, you might not like what you see. But these ones, like these two, they both have that have that connection. Some of them have good connections, and some of them don't. Some of them don't. So there's a lot going on. This lady, she sent the guy a younger picture of her. So when she got to the place where he was and he saw her, it's like a whole nother thing. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to do an open panel soon, innit? I'll do an open panel soon so people can come up and have a little chit chat and that. I've got to just put on the notification bells and then you'll know when I come on from when I don't. Sometimes I'll be talking about the real world, and sometimes it's good to talk about these little entertaining stuff because it's just interesting to hear other people's opinions on shows because you might see a show one way and they might see a show another way, you know? So, yeah, but it's good to see you, Christine, though. So, I'm going to come off now and, yeah, just put your notification bell on when I come on. Please like the video, and yeah, have a good day in it, good afternoon in it. So with that said, I'm gonna come off because it's better when I do the lives when the baby's sleeping because it's easier. Then I could be on as long as I want, even though it's up till 6 in the morning. So I will just keep posting videos. So like I said, sometimes I post short ones. I don't say a lot. I'll be posting short videos, and sometimes I do little talks like this because it'd be bugging my mind, and I'll be like very like really. But yeah, please subscribe to Tripsy's, Octavius, Ramel, Real Talk TV, Ivy, O'Neill TV, Peanut Nola. There's a lot of them. I'm trying to think of all their names. Angelica. There's a lot. Yeah. So this the yeah. I'm gonna go see to her too, and then obviously, right, you got to do the old housework. Housework never done in it. It's only today I'm taking it slow. I'm not rushing to do nothing. I got one chicken or something to cook right now, and yeah. So yeah, with that said, I'm gonna come off. But I'll see you. Take care. Bye.